I'm big on communicating the vision of my company, where we want to go, the culture we have, like what we will hire and fire people by, that this team can hold me accountable to. Like these are the core values that we share as a company. But I've never seen dentists really do this. What's your thought on it? Like sitting down and going through the vision, the where the dentist sees this business going in 5 years. Like, do you think that's important chat to have with staff, or like, what's your opinion on that?
It's paramount. You have to have it.
Sure.
It's like saying, can I build a house and not put the foundation in? Or maybe we'll get at it
Right.
later.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work that way. Yeah. So I think the two reasons that we start by coaching the leaders. We start by coaching the leaders right away, because without the leadership guidance and without the leadership involvement and engagement, bringing value to the team, then coaching is going to be challenging if it works at all, because they have to be a huge part of it to lead it. It's not something where we come in and we do it for you and walk away. It has to be appreciated, right? And so everybody is on the team and everybody works for the practice, including the dentist. We're all in this together. So I always think about it as if you're on a dragon boat and everybody's on, going in the same direction. You got to know what direction you're going in if you want everybody to paddle and work hard to get there. So the guy who has to come up with the direction and the person that has to lead the path is the person who's the owner. And so we have to make sure, first of all, that the owner is clear on what the vision is, right? Like sometimes they need to do a lot of thought process around that, because again, it's not one of those things that comes with, what you learn in dentistry. So I always say, let's break it down into the three big pieces, right? So you've got your people piece that includes both your team and your community who you serve, your patients, and then the business part, like the numbers and how many patients you have and the downtime and production numbers and those things. All those things are important pieces. And what happens now, which is your mission, is going to be different in the future, which is your vision of what you want to grow to be. So the vision is the development, your finish line, right? So in order to get to the finish line on a big boat, you can't do it by yourself. You don't see the dentist doing admin work, hopefully, and doing hygiene, right? I mean, he has his job and everybody else has their role. In order to be able to do that, there is a need and a dependence on each other in order to be able to work that as a group, as a collective. So I think you have to get clarity of the vision from the leader first, and we assist with that. We help them find it. We don't give it to them, because the vision has to come from them. It's their heart. It's what they see, they envision. But we do help them to reach that, to get to it in their minds of how to put that into words to come up with a vision statement, ultimately, including all those three pieces of the practice. And then once
I've seen it, I've seen where, they hang power words on a wall of like trust and leadership and teamwork. And it's like, who came up with this stuff? And it's like, oh, some consulting company gave it to us. And it's like, but the culture of this company doesn't follow any of these tenets. It's really tight. You guys are not transparent. Like you're cutting corners everywhere. Like when you talk about leadership, we haven't done a team review in like a year, so I get it. It's like you can't just like, hey, give me some generic things to hang up on my wall. Like this really does have to come from within, and you really have to reflect about what kind of practice is this. Because if you're saying is like, well, it's just a practice, the goal is get more patients. Well, what kind of patients? Not every patient is a good patient. Some patients are a disaster to have. Do you want patients who value dentistry, or do you want patients who are like looking for the lowest cost, which is fine. Like you can run a very successful business focusing on those types of people too, but you have to be clear about what kind of people do you want working for you? What kind of culture do you want? How do you want to work with them? How are you going to split authority and these things, and who's responsible for what? And really, where do we want to be in 5-10 years if we're trying to differentiate ourselves from the 50 other dentists on every single street corner around us? It can't be, we just do dentistry and the goal is get more patients. It's like, no, there is more to it than that. And I think a lot of dentists, they don't see value in that. To be fair, even when I started a business, I thought this stuff was a bunch of fluff. And we didn't really grow to the size we're now without me starting to see that, like, no, actually, that stuff is very important. Really thinking about where you want to get to. Like, it seems trivial in the early stages, but it's not. It is, like you said, it's that foundation that's going to allow you to build a really strong, stable company. And you won't realize you don't have it until you're a year or two in, and you're pulling your hair out because you're putting out fires every day because nothing seems to be working. And it's like, yeah, you missed that little beginning piece that you thought was trivial, but it's not.